So, what is up, guys? Looks like Rebirth was revealed with an updated effect, so let's go over this bad boy now. Limit break 4, lock rear guards until you have 5, gain 10,000 power, and get the following ability. At the end of the battle that this unit attacked, you discard a card, stand this unit, and draw 2 cards, so you +1 after this, which is great. Okay, so far so good. Then he has another effect which isn't bound by limit break. When this unit attack hits a rear guard, counterblast 2 and discard an overlord from your hand to retire one of your opponent's rear guards. So you are making pretty much ways for this guy to actually attack the Vanguard. Now, but lo and behold, that is not such a bad effect. It is actually going to help you in the long run in case you don't draw your break right or don't get your break right. This guy's not bad as a Vanguard in general. Say you had to ride this, now you drew your Overlord. What can you do with it? Oh, you can just retire a unit, so open up some space. So that gives you your 2 attacks on the Vanguard at the end of the day because you are going to be able to retire. So, scenario for this guy, I mean, let's say hypothetical 5th damage, 2 intercepts. You can use this effect, the CB2, discard an Overlord, and kill 2 intercepts in the front. Since this is 5th damage, all we need are units that can actually swing at Vanguard. And we boost, so that's 2 attacks on the Vanguard in general. But with Kagros already having good retire units, I mean, with like Novella and all that, it leads to the question, what else could you do, you know? Also, what got revealed was Dragonic Burnout. This was the unit I was talking about when in my last video, but instead it's going to remove Overlord from the drop zone, where the original effect was Soul Blast, and return Overlord to your deck. But in Vanguard 0, they really killed all those return trigger effects for their game in general, so they don't want you returning triggers that easy. But again, this is a triple rare counterblast 1. You remove an Overlord from your drop zone to retire one of your opponent's rear guard. So again, you can do a couple things with this actually. Since you are pitching for Dragonic Overlord to retire 2 rear guards, so 2 of your units can attack the Vanguard. So that's going to give you an open space for this card next turn to remove the Overlord that's in your drop zone to retire for just a CB1. So does this mean we're possibly going to get the countercharger named Grom? Grom Soul Blast 2 and you countercharge 2. And he's a booster, 5k booster. So obviously that 5k booster is just going to be there for like, you know, whatever you're going to need him for. But again, now we have a set where there are 3 triple rares, which adds up to 12 triple rares in total for Kagros coming set 17. But Dragonic Burnout I knew was going to come out this way. He was going to be, I mean, the Soul Blast effect, obviously they don't like making retiring free. So it's CB1, you got to remove an Overlord from your drop zone. So if you trigger an Overlord with a draw trigger, you technically have a retire card in your drop that you can use with this. Again, this is CB1 to retire. That effect is too good. Number 1, that effect is way too good. It's actually amazing because all you need is 1 Overlord in drop to do it. And him and Rebirth being able to pitch an Overlord in your hand if you didn't get to your break right in time to actually retire another rear guard could help you in the long run, clearing up intercepts. But now seeing this effect, this does lead to the theory of the G0 for Overlords is going to be coming as well. It won't be revealed until the set fully releases next week. But I'm pretty sure we will be seeing the G0 for Overlord as well. And his effect is exactly this, but without the CB. You throw it in the soul, and when you hit a rear guard, the effect is you can retire another rear guard after hitting something. So the Forerunner is going to help Rebirth do retire effects on all the intercepts, so you could do the lock 5. But again, this still provides us a little bit of a problem. Even though we're like locking cards at this moment, we are going through certain like changes with Rebirth. Now, you can question it to the extent of like, I'm still locking 5, and even if I do this whole retire effect, I'm only getting 1 hit on the Vanguard. Again, you are going to have to play Rebirth very smart. You have to know when you can do the lock 5 to do anything remotely interesting to really kind of get the push on the Vanguard in general. Now, let's circle back here. Let's circle back to our previous discussion. With Dauntless Drive, Dragon, Breaker and Dauntless Drive with this, I mean, again, now that he has this retire effect, but like I said, with the retire effect, now that we have, again, Dragonic Burnout, we should be able to do a lot of plays. Like I said, Dragonic Burnout's going to be a CB1. Dauntless is going to be a CB1. This effect isn't a CB effect. Actually, they fixed it. They buffed him here. His effect was actually CB1 Lock 5. They got rid of the CB effect, so all your CB gets micromanaged appropriately for your other retire cards. That was good. That's step closer to making him a really good card for being a boss card. Because again, discarding a card to stand this and drawing 2 cards, you net 1, and if you do the break ride, you net 2. So again, you drew a lot of cards there after drawing 2, pitch 1, so you had like 3 cards in your hand at the end of that turn. So again, with the break ride Overlord, there's possibility you're going to be retiring intercepts at the end of the day. Once you attack the intercept, this unit's going to restand. But again, if you have another Overlord in your hand, you can pitch, retire, and then this unit just restands and attacks the Vanguard. Again, he's going to be a very smart unit to be playing. Rebirth is nothing to joke about at the end of the day. It's just, you have to be smart with your plays. Because now that we have Dragonic Burnout and legit your Overlord goes to drop zone, and keep in mind, you can actually throw Overlord to drop zone. You can actually Soul Blast Overlord if it came down to it. I'm not saying you're going to have to, just to countercharge too. But if it came down to it, yes, you can even do that and have Overlord in your drop to retire. Your opponent's field is open. And again, that sets you up for Dauntless Drive plays. So in theory, I still feel like DD, Dauntless Drive Dragon's going to be the better play. Because you can turn a 1 card in your hand to 2. And now that Dauntless Drive has this update effect, the attack, you can definitely get that extra swing in. Like I've been saying before with Rebirth, we've been talking about Rebirth this way. You're going to retire all your opponent's intercepts with your unit's effects. Burnouts, you're definitely going to be running 4 of. And obviously, whatever retire, you use Berserk Dragon. Since this effect is not bound by a CB, this is going to help you in the long run. This whole lock effect is non-CB reliant, which makes all your retire effects worthwhile. This is what we were talking about. You go to a 31k Vanguard, and that's going to be 3 attacks on the Vanguard. So again, that is great. So he's going to attack first, then he's going to restand with his own effect, and then he's going to restand with the DD effect, and that's going to be 3 attacks on Vanguard. So that's why we discussed this in the previous video when we saw the break ride for Overlord. Yes, pitch 1, you draw a lot of cards, but I feel like Rebirth is going to really push it when it comes to Dauntless, because A, you will be losing that G3 is going to drop zone either way. No matter how we see it, the G3 is in drop. There's going to be, we can even play the G3 on the field, retire that G3 by putting on top Dragonic Burnout. Dragonic Burnout effect is going to activate, so now you remove the equations. You removed all the intercepts. You can do this, you can do Burnout, and you can do Berserk Dragon. That's a CB3, and once you do that CB3, in that CB4, that extra CB you have is for your Dauntless Drive Dragon. So now you're going to have a 31k Vanguard that's going to swing, no trigger needed. You're going to draw 2 cards, and obviously after the draw 2 cards, you're going to filter those 2 cards for more cards. It's because of the restand effect, or if you have a lot of cards and you were like playing correctly, Rebirth is going to be awesome. They really fixed Rebirth to actually function in 0. Just the pitch 1 was the best buff. And that's not only that, losing the CB to do the effect was a good buff. Because now all your CB goes to your retire units. So that's amazing. Rebirth is very playable now in Zero's format. And this extra effect that isn't bound by a limit break could be used in certain situations to push your opponents. So again, a lot of plussing. I like it. But at the end of the day, I think I'm still going DDD for this guy because it's too good to pass up when you have Burnout doing some good plays and you got Rebirth restanding 3 times once the intercept game is gone from all your retire effects. So you're going to be good to go at the end of the day. I love where Rebirth is at now. He got a nice buff. He pushes Overlord so you can retire something. And if your opponent played more intercepts, you're going to play Burnout, and Burnout's going to retire something. There's going to be so much good tech with this, it's not even funny. Seriously, it's not. It's going to be amazing playing Rebirth now in 0. I'm excited for this unit. You guys should be too, because they buffed him very nicely. where he's not busted, but he's very strong and playable for ladder grind. I like it. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching. Be good, stay safe, and I'll see you all another time, all right? Peace. Hype for Rebirth now. Let's get this unit rolling and trolling. Hallelujah.